Um, I'm fucking cold. I'm getting ready to go downstairs. Downstairs, I can't process as well. Because he's playing video games. He's also listening to a streaming video while he's playing his video games. And he's not yelling at the TV like, he usually does, which is nice. He hasn't yelled at it in probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 days, maybe even a week. Um, Once in a while he goes, "Oh, come on." But, the thing is that he's accommodating me how he can while still trying to do the things that help him to process and maintain. Um, he shouldn't have to do that. I mean, he should be able to curse at his game to his heart's content. He should be able to do that. It's his house. It's what he uses to come down from whatever stresses he has in life. Just like Game of Thrones, just like Dexter. Same thing with Mandy Ingline. I mean, for her, watching Dexter, that's how she was dealing with stuff at the time. And with Sally Treon, them watching that show about killer clowns, I mean, that freaks me out. But that doesn't make them bad people. They should be able to do that. They should be able to do those things. But also, in most of these places, like not being able to process was a very major issue. Them being addicted to stuff like that, and me being stuck out in the public areas there. I mean, it sucked. I'm fucking freezing. I got a lot of stuff here that I'd like to go through and put up on here. And, when it gets closer to summertime, if I'm not incarcerated or dead, then I'll be able to work up here a little easier. But I want to show you what it looks like outside. Well, much of the snow is melted, but it's still cold. Um, I guess it's not melted; it's turned to ice. There's got to be a way to pick this up and show it. Well, I got it. I will get a picture of the outside. Well, that didn't stay on very long, did it? Anyway, it's pretty cold out. Um, so I'm gonna go downstairs. I won't be able to do any of the stuff that I need to be able to process and work on this, and it'll give me a lot of anxiety. I'm gonna try to play some Star Trek Online and hope that that helps me to. It doesn't help me to not um, be overwhelmed. It helps me to keep myself busy, is what it does. When I can't exactly work on this stuff up here, and I can't exactly just sit there and listen to the video games that he's playing, and all of that. So I got the headphones that I can put in, but I can still hear him over it. I can still hear his stuff over it. Um, so it's not like it completely shuts it out. That's something that Shannon Alvarado, if you guys have listened to our conversations on here, that's something where she says, "Well, I thought you had your headphones the whole time." That was an assumption. That was an assumption that you made. And then there's the assumption that because I have those headphones in, that it completely drowns you screaming at your boyfriend out. Like it completely drowns that out. No, you're screaming at him. It doesn't drown that out. um, I was scrolling through the group that I got from Katie Cahill. It's got a bunch of people in it, like Jennifer Farina Bollinger and Adam Klein and all of those fucking asshats. And, it's pretty traumatic to have to go through that stuff. I really need to. I've gone through and saved the screenshots of all of that on more than one occasion. I mean, everything start to finish. It's probably in my Net10 file here on my computer. Or not Net10, but my Windows 10 pictures thing. But it's cold. My fingers aren't hardly functioning, and I need to go downstairs and warm up. And I will probably play Star Trek Online for a good half an hour, 45 minutes. And before I can even get started doing that, I need to warm up my fingers. Now, optimally, what I'd like to be doing is having my own tools and building the things that I was designing and starting to build before Natalie was killed. Well, actually, while I was at the shop on 75th and Arapahoe in Boulder, Colorado, I had a small portion of an old barn out there, and it was getting kicked out of that really set me, where I'm as screwed as I am now. I hurt my back moving out of that place. And I had to move out of that place because Josh Hughes was busy playing video games there until 4 in the morning. He wasn't even supposed to be there. It was supposed to be his stuff and my stuff. And when they told me, that somebody was in there playing video games until 4 in the morning, the only other person who had a key for it was Josh. There's no other person that it could have been. And he had the lights on, and yeah, I mean, that's not okay. But after that, I mean, my whole life went to hell. It wasn't like I went, hey, I got a great idea. I'm going to completely fuck myself. No, I had to depend on others. Had to. A lot of you don't realize how much you depend on others because you've never gone without. You just tell yourself that you're doing it all yourself, and you're not. I mean, you've got your physical needs, you've also got your emotional needs. Are your emotional needs met? Are your physical needs met? I took a lot of abuse that the police didn't want to take a report about, and a lot of stuff that it all ties in together. I mean, the abuse that I've been enduring here in Chapel, Nebraska, it all came from that whole situation being on the news. It shouldn't have ever been on the news, and I should have been allowed to defend myself. Now, the sheriff here, when I was telling him, yeah, it's just as much his fault that Natalie was killed, he said, that's not fair. He's right. It's not fucking fair. It's not fair, is it? To be blamed for something that's not your fault that you didn't do. Because was Sheriff Scott DaCosta the officer that I spoke with before Natalie died? Was he any of those officers? No, he wasn't. I didn't know Scott DaCosta existed until after she was dead. I didn't know that Scott DaCosta existed until after the whole situation with my grandmother's funeral. Before that, I didn't even know his name. I had my own shit to worry about, shit that was more important than running around and trying to figure out the name of every cop in town. The important part was the officers that I dealt with, the officers that I interacted with. Fuck. But the other thing is, like, I could have some respect for these officers if they admitted they screwed up. I could. When I told Pamela Cardi that I was going to sue her for not doing her job, that should have been the end of it. She should have never been my public pretender ever again after that. But because she was my public pretender, and because she knew that she had done wrong, she was able to fuck up my whole scenario there and my whole situation. She intentionally lied to me to get me to make decisions that she knew were going to fuck me. She knew that if I did what she wanted, that it was going to fuck me. But she didn't care. She was just trying to cover her own ass because she knew what she did was illegal. And the judge wouldn't let me fire her. I'm mentally ill, so I must not know what the fuck is going on. I'm mentally ill, so I must have. What the fuck did you even have me in fucking court for if I'm so mentally ill that I shouldn't be allowed to speak or show evidence? Why the fuck was I even in court? Why don't you just hold court without me and fucking railroad me without me? Seriously. It's like if you're going to burn a man's house, why make him stand there and watch?